Yay! We're live! Okay, so I am Cassie from MissKlassieKassie. This is my channel. Hello, hi. Let's go down the line. I see Sierra next and Alexis last, if that's...
Yep, that's what I see.
Okay, so let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Sierra. I'm from Sierra Reads.
Hi guys, I'm Molly from Magic Wand 99.
Am I next? I don't know if I'm in the right lineup.
Yes.
I think you're next.
Hey, I'm Kelly from Kelly's Bookspill.
I think Jessica, you're next.
Oh God. Okay. I am Jess, and I'm from Jessica Bookshops.
Hi, I'm Kaz. I'm from Little Book Owl. And I'm Alexis, and I'm from Rocket Reads.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
We did it.
So we are doing this live show because it is NaNoWriMo, which, if we don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it's National Novel Writing Month. And we've got a few people who have never done it before. I'm one of them. And we've got some people who have done it for many, many years. We have some people who have succeeded and who haven't. And so we just thought it would be fun to do a live show of talking about what we're going to be writing about this year, advice type things, and all of the stuff. So, yay! Does anyone want to start with maybe like where their word count is today? Because we have some of us who only have had like a few hours, and some of us who are like on day 2, right, Kaz? You're day 2?
Some of us who are Kelly, and some of us who are Kelly. Hey, Kelly, you want to tell everyone how many words you wrote today?
I wrote 4,574 so far.
What the heck?
What is that? Like,
I woke up really early.
I
I had
wrote
nothing to do today.
1,714 words. So I'm on track.
I wrote written zeros. Good job, Cassie. Thank you. Thank you.
For the stars, girl. Shoot for the stars.
Well, yeah, it's day 2 for me, and yesterday I stayed up to start writing at midnight, NaNoWriMo, when it began for me, and I ended up writing 1,871 words, and I haven't written anything since.
That's still really good, though.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. Got all my day 1 stuff done. I've got a really busy few days at the beginning of the month, so I was like, I need to get ahead, but I didn't get ahead like I wanted to do.
Through.
What about the rest of you guys? What have you written? Sierra?
I have 312 words so far.
I
Basically
have
1 page.
That's something, you know.
Yeah.
I'm interrupting Alexis. I'm sorry. I have 1,306 words so far.
Wow. Real fast before we continue this, which
Wait, how many,
link?
Jessica? How many did you write?
Oh, sorry, I thought we had everyone. Sorry.
I did 980 words. So
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Back to Kathy.
Oh, I was gonna ask, does anyone know which link is the one that I should be tweeting out, like on here?
The one you
Look at it.
right?
The one from your channel?
Yeah, I tried looking on my channel and I can't find it.
Really? Because I'll tweet it right now because I'm on it.
Okay, so you do that and then I'll retweet it because I can't find it.
Okay.
And for those of you watching, if you have any questions or anything, we do have the Q&A app open, so you're more than welcome to ask us questions, or you can also leave comments down in the comments below. We'll check those as well. We were talking about word counts, but we finished that.
You want to share our synopsises?
Oh yeah, sure. That sounds fun.
Who wants to go first?
Do we want to go down the line the opposite way, starting with Alexis?
You want to
do
like?
that. That's easy for me to start things.
You want to like? Did any of you guys like? Because I always post my synopsis in the NaNoWriMo thing.
Yeah, I did that.
yeah.
Like, so I was saying like, I'll probably read off the synopsis I wrote because if I try to just say it to you guys, it's gonna sound.
I was thinking the exact same thing, so I'm with you.
Okay, cool. All right, go ahead. What are you writing about?
I did not write a synopsis. I wrote the bare minimum on the NaNoWriMo website. But mine is a basically like contemporary kind of. It's set in the near future, and it takes place in virtual reality. And basically, there's this girl who's playtesting a dating sim game, and then one of the characters starts telling her that he's actually a real person, and my character's a lesbian too, and that's about it.
I like it. Does it have a title yet?
On Nano it says
title?
but that's just like the literal translation of like otome or something. It's a Japanese word. I don't know. But it's not an official title.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't have my official title yet either.
So I'm so bad at coming up with titles. I don't even trying on it.
I mean, they're like hit or miss. I mean, they're like, yes, the title came to me, or I'm like, the fuck is the story gonna be?
Yeah. I didn't do a synopsis either, and I'm not sure how much I should say because, like, the idea that I went off is something that I wrote for a creative writing class as a short story. So there's not a huge amount that happened in it, just because lengthwise it could only be just over 1,000 words. So I'm trying to flesh it out so it's over 50,000. So that's gonna be interesting. But it's kind of paranormal thriller type thing with a gothic feel, and I guess I'll say it has a succubus in it.
Whoa! That's not
fun.
Yeah, imaginations go wild with that one.
Jessica, it's your turn.
I do have a synopsis. It goes like this. It says, Emily is a 19-year-old introvert currently studying in her second year of university as a creative writing student. Whilst participating in creative writing classes, she is forced to reflect on her troubled past and use it as inspiration for her written pieces. But when it all gets too much, her world starts to crumble to pieces and she finds her previous past comes back to haunt her.
Ooh, I like it.
I like it.
Nice.
Fun.
Or it's Kelly's turn, rather, yeah.
All right. I am doing a contemporary new adult. Surprise, surprise. And it's called Roller Coaster. And the synopsis is roller coaster, a thing that contains or goes through wild and unpredictable changes. I knew I was taking a huge leap of faith when I decided to leave our small country town in Alabama to move across country to Anchor Bay, California, of all places, with my sister B. I also knew it wouldn't be the easiest change with our country accents, lack of guidance, and utter disorganization. What I didn't expect was him. I didn't expect him to walk into my life after just experiencing one of the worst breakups in all of my 25 years. My life was already a whirlwind, chaos, a roller coaster, and then he appears out of nowhere, ready to show me that if I would just get on the ride one more time, a terrifying climb can result in an exhilarating fall.
Yeah.
So it's actually your life story.
Minus read that. That's on my TBR. Like,
I put up the first chapter on Wattpad, so you can't actually read it. It's on my Twitter.
Okay, now it's Sierra's turn.
Is it my turn? No.
I just wanted to. I'm quickly looking at the live show on YouTube, and it's saying that the chat's disabled for this live stream and comments are disabled.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard right now to figure out why. Does anyone know how to fix it? If we know. I'm trying to do it I tried in the toolbox and stuff, and now I'm like back in the Google Hangouts website to see.
It looks like
Did you try on YouTube?
No, let me see. I can't find it. Oh, let me use the link.
Why don't you go to your actual channel? Because it's
no,
right
like
on
that's what I
front.
did, and I can't find it.
That makes no sense.
I know. I don't know why I'm blind. Because I might just be blind. I don't know.
It's literally on your channel.
Sarah's like, not to like say you're dumb, but like.
Basically, Sarah's telling me I'm an idiot. Thank you.
You know I love you.
Sierra, do you want to?
Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I'll talk about mine while you try and deal with that.
Do that.
I didn't post a synopsis either because I don't know where my story's going. I had an outline and I'm already straying from it, and I'm only 300 whatever words in. It's a dystopian, which are my favorite things to read. So I'm kind of just writing what I would want to read. It's really vague. I don't have a title. I don't have a synopsis. I just am kind of rolling with it at this point.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So mine's historical fiction with a bit of like paranormal aspect in it. And my working title is not what I'm keeping because it sucks. But my working title on Nano is Adela and the Celts. And then I did post a synopsis, so I'll read that. It's set in Germany, 750 A.D. Adela's tribe deems her father worthy of death for allegedly conspiring against them with the Romans. Adela plans to avenge her father by trying to take his place as leader of the tribe, but no woman in history has ever been permitted to do so. With old family rivalries within the tribe and an attack from the Romans looming on the horizon, Adela will have to prove herself now more than ever if she has any hope of avenging her father.
Nice.
That's good.
Thanks.
I want
Is
to
it my
read
turn?
everything.
Yeah, it's Cassie's turn now.
Okay, so I did not post anything about it. I don't have a title or anything, but basically the only things I know is that there's going to be 2 timelines. One is present and one is past. And the past is very much like happy, contemporary, new adult, boy meets girl, and it's going to be very happy. And then the first part you get of the present is that she's on a 72-hour hold for psych, and we don't know why, and we don't know what's happening, so you don't really know what went wrong, and that's all I have.
That sounds really cool though too.
Poor girl. I haven't decided like how dark I want to make it, cause
Make it dark.
Stay dark.
Yeah. Maybe dark.
Make it creepy. Like.
So I think I got the chat to work. I'm still attempting to figure out how to make the Q&A work, though.
The Q&A I think is working.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, because I can on the live show it says it has the link to the Q&A,
Right.
and I can.
Good.
Anyone ask any questions yet?
No.
Okay.
I have a question for everyone. I have heard your synopsises now, but are you guys trying to go more dark or more happy with your story?
Dark. Definitely dark.
Horrible twist. A horrible twist.
I'm writing mine as like an adult novel because I knew I wanted to make it like dark and graphic and stuff and things that I just couldn't like that I would have to limit if it was YA. And so I'm like hardcore. Like it's gonna be like creepy, dark. Like think Game of Thrones. Like that's where we're going.
Lots of sex.
Basically, the first scene of the book is like she's leaving after like having sex with someone, and like in ancient Germanic tribes, like the woman's like one job was to be pure, and she could be like stoned to death if she wasn't and stuff. So
Oh
like,
my god.
yeah, I was taking German
Stoner.
studies, and I had just read Magnus Chase, so it was like German people studies. We were learning Germanic Norse mythology, and I was like, and then our teacher said, yeah, women couldn't ever be in charge of the tribe, and I was like, that could be a story.
Definitely.
Thank God times have changed.
Oh yes. Mine's definitely dark. I think mine's kind of more adult as well because mine's about a married couple. And yeah, originally with the short story, it ended when something terribly, terribly wrong happens. But I'm changing it in the novel and having that in the middle point, and then basically my main character's seeking to kill someone.
Oh.
I like it.
Nice.
Well, mine's basically happy because it's contemporary, but I've got like a twist that's gonna happen. Hold on.
Hold on.
Right when I go to talk. But I have a twist that's gonna happen at the end. That's not gonna be as happy.
I like how you were like, oh, it's contemporary, so it's happy, and my mind was just like Colleen Hoover.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Basically.
that woman's contemporary and has never written like a happy story a day in her life.
Hoover is bae. I was
Like, oh, did you have feelings? I'm gonna crush them. Like,
yeah.
Oh.
it's funny too because when I met her, she was like the most quiet, like shy person. And I was like, I love your book so much, and she was like, thanks.
Aw.
I've never read anything from Colleen Hoover.
Oh my
I
god,
can
she's
do
so
that.
good. Read Ugly Love or Confess first. Read whatever you do. Don't read Hopeless first because that is like the most effed up one she has, like the most awful.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That's not where you want to start. Like start
I'm
with
just
literally
not-
that.
I'm not a big contemporary reader, so
I love Maybe Someday. That's my favorite.
I have
That's the one I've read, and I love it.
Have you guys
Kelly,
read?
Kelly, have you read it's not by Colleen Hoover, but it's blurred by her, and it's the debut novel, The Sea of Tranquility by Katya Malay.
No, I haven't even heard of it.
Girl, if you like Colleen Hoover, you'll love that book. Read it.
girl.
I'll have to check it out.
Side note, sorry.
I just got a question from someone on Twitter, from Danny Dela Cruz. Do you guys write your scenes in order, or do you bounce around their outline and structure?
That's a
That's
good one.
actually one of the things I've been struggling with because, like I said, there's going to be 2 timelines. And I know that as far as like how the reader should be reading it, it's going to go back and forth between those 2 timelines. But I haven't decided if I want to write it chronologically and then in editing put everything like back and forth within it, or if I want to write it like it should be read. I haven't quite decided. Back when I did it, I was starting out with writing it how the reader will read it, but now I feel like it's really confusing to try to write it like that. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
I tried to write chronologically in the way the reader's gonna read it, so the stories are never like completely chronological because I feel like a completely chronological story like rarely happens. You know, like there's always flashbacks and memories and stuff. I try to write it the way it would be read, but every once in a while I get like a random idea for a scene that's really close to the end, and so I'll go in and like write that scene in a separate document, and then when I catch up to it, I like already have the scene ready. But for the most part, I try to just write it like as the story grows. That's how I'm writing it. But occasionally, I write a scene out of time from the story.
I do that as well, I think, because I find that especially if I'm struggling with, like, when I start at the beginning and I start writing how it should be read, if I'm struggling with what's supposed to happen next, I will jump forward and write a few scenes that happen later on, and then you can just kind of work at connecting the two. And actually, that way that I'm a little more excited to write it as well. If I do have a really exciting scene coming up, I can just get as many words out in that scene and not kind of trudge along and struggle.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I think because I've been working on this story for like a month now, and I like off and on briefly. So I have 15 pages that I'm not counting in my word count yet. Because I didn't write them during Nano. But with those, I definitely would like hand write the most exciting scenes like in class when I was supposed to be paying attention, but whatever. And then I'll like type them up and like try to put them somewhere on the document where I think they're gonna go, and then try to connect my scenes later.
So far with mine, I've written 2 chapters in order of how they're supposed to be read, but then I actually jumped to the end because I have like some crazy stuff happening at the end, and so I started writing that. And I think it's the same way as with Kaz. Is I get like if I get in a writing slump in the beginning, then I go to the end and try to work it out there, and then come back. So it kind of helps me to change it up a little bit.
I'm not positive on what I do since I'm not a big writer, but so far, at first I thought I was writing the beginning, and now I feel like that's what I'm writing is more like a midpoint because it's like very action, like a lot of crap is going on right now. I think it might be just too much for the beginning of a story. But then again, I don't know, maybe not.
It's good to start with the action though, because it draws the reader in.
Right.
Sometimes it's the easiest part to write too.
I question for you guys. I'm really big on like really good like first sentences that catch interest. And I know in the NaNoWriMo tag, one of the questions was read the first sentence of your novel from last time you did NaNoWriMo. Did you guys want to like read our first sentences that we, not necessarily that are going to be like the first sentence of the novel, but maybe the first sentence that we've written so far?
Yeah, I'm down.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll open it up.
Like I can read mine first since I came up with that idea. Give you guys time to find. Okay, so mine starts with a prologue, and the first sentence of the prologue is, "They burn the witches and praise the gods."
I like that.
What about you guys? What are your first sentences?
I'll go. I'll read my first then and then my first now. So the first then sentence is, Victoria needed to get out of this job. And then the now is, Victoria, do you know why you're here?
Oh, I like that. I love the therapist voice. Do you know why you're here? Who else wants to go?
So I have mine pulled up, and it's kind of a tentative first sentence. I feel now after Cassie's, I'm like, oh, mine's really boring.
No.
Anyway, it's. I wondered how many ways I could rephrase "not interested" before it would penetrate the thick skull of Brad Danvers.
Oh, I like that.
That's good. You painted it like it was gonna be terrible, and that's a really.
I know.
Well, like I felt like I labored over it, and then after like Cassie's, I was like, oh, mine could be a lot better.
Don't worry, mine's pretty lame, so it's no big deal.
Mine's nothing special.
Okay, I'll go since I have mine pulled up right now. Mine just says, I woke up in a fog, my mind was swarming with voices and this constant ring that I can't get out of my head.
Ooh. Sarah, I can tell, I can hear the darkest minds. Like
I was so thinking that too.
It's good. It's not, yeah, it's good. I like it.
It's way different, but
yeah. You can just hear the Alexandra Bracken love.
Who doesn't love Alexandra Bracken? She's everything.
Mine is a lot of things saved my life.
I like that. We're all just so good. Such good writers.
All right, mine is taking in the ocean breeze. I let this new reality settle over me in waves.
Ooh, poetic.
Well, you're like so down on yourselves. You're like, oh, it's not good, and then you read it, and it's like freaking amazing.
I feel like all of ours have been really good.
No, we're all good. Everyone should be proud of themselves.
Back.
Good job, guys. Good job. Snaps and claps.
I haven't written mine. I haven't written mine. Not that great. But with a horrendous clap, Luca awakes at the start.
Ooh.
Again, Kaz, you were like, oh, it's not that great, and then it is.
Nothing special.
But like, just a little, like, yeah, like waking with the start isn't special, but the detail you put in where you say with a horrendous clap, like that's what makes it different.
It's also kind of hard to say stuff like this right now since it's the first day, well for me, the first day, and the day is not even half over. So that can always change.
I'm ready for bed.
Oh yeah, what time is it there?
It is 10:10.
Oh
my
goodness.
Wow.
And I have a full day of uni tomorrow. Woo!
Whoa.
Yeah,
Clockwork Kitten asked us a question. Hi, Anais. Hi. She said, I keep writing something and then being like, oh, damn, this is exactly one of those book tropes I always complain about. Is anyone else struggling with this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right away, I knew I wanted to make a love triangle, and it's not that it's not that I hate love triangles, because there's times I really like them. Like if anyone watches the show Rain in season 1, there was a love triangle, and it was excellent. And I read them sometimes, and I think, oh, that's pretty excellent. And sometimes I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. So I want there to be a love triangle, and it's not that I'm like, I innately hate love triangles. I just think they're written so badly so much of the time. So being like, okay, gonna write a trope that so many people already hate and not F it up. No.
A lot of pressure.
Good luck.
I think because I'm writing, this is the first like contemporary type of thing that I'm writing. And I usually write fantasy, and I have that problem a lot with fantasy where I'm like, oh my god, I can see all the tropes, and this is just terrible, I need to stop. But since I don't read a lot of contemporary, I feel a lot more like liberated, where I'm like, I don't know what the tropes in contemporary are. This is amazing.
Imagine if you write like one of the worst ones that like
Turn out to
you wouldn't even know. Oh my god.
just an exact copy.
Because they don't know what the rules are. So. Anybody else?
I struggle as well with it, but at the same time, I haven't succeeded in writing a lot of actual long works. Like, obviously with creative writing classes, I always do short stories. Yeah. So it's a little easier to not involve those tropes because you've got less to work with. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, one with the NaNoWriMo that I won a couple of years ago, I think I definitely was, like, really forcing them not to, like really dragging out the whole, like, it wasn't really a romance, but just them turning from, like, enemies into a possible interest. I was, like, drawing it out as much as possible because I'm like, this must not be insta-love. So.
That is exactly what mine's doing right now, too.
Yeah. Like, they fight against you. Like,
trying to do that.
I'm not I read something, and as soon as they introduce two characters, and I, like, pick one that I'm rooting for, like, as soon as like, Alexis and I were talking about Crimson Peak, and it's like, as soon as Tom Hiddleston walked in, I was like, I don't care what happens, they need to be together. And so when I read I'm like, I know I need to make obstacles. They can't just get together on page 2. But, like...
Isn't it also kind of hard to not do insta-love, though? Because you only have so much book to write.
Yeah.
You can't, like, drag it out the entire time, or else you'll never get any scenes of them together.
There's two problems too. Like, you cannot do insta-love, but then if you wait until the very end of the book, then people complain because you didn't give enough of them being together.
Right. So then you have to write another one.
I think that's one of the things that's harder in contemporary, because when you're writing dystopian fantasy or just anything in like an epic setting, it's like, I made a video about this like a year or so ago, that, you know, when you're in like a heightened situation, like in Divergent, or, you know, for example, you're going to make relationships differently than you would if you're just living your everyday life. So obviously if you're like at war, or you're in this fantastic world, like, and time's different, and you like are with people different amounts of times, like, then I think it's not necessarily instant love, but you can make people fall in love faster in your writing because they are in like a heightened circumstance. But in contemporary, you know, you're just living everyday life, and you're like going to school or whatever, and I don't like go to class with the cute guys in some of my classes and be like, oh my god, I love them and they're like, if I was at war against like a totalitarian government and alone in the woods with only one other person, I don't know, maybe I would love them overnight, you know. So I think like that's one of the times where I give props to contemporary, because I think that's one of the hardest genres to write love that's like realistic, because it's the real world, so the love has to be realistic. Right. And like Kelly said, you got to pace it, because so many YA contemporaries, a lot of the time, it's like the last 10 pages, it's like, and then they got together. It's like the end.
I hate that. That's like
it's like it basically is like at least one half, if not 2/3 of the book is like they're not together, and then they are together.
Probably why Colleen Hoover is so good, because she puts like a dark twist on the reality, but it's right.
Bless you.
That was another reason I liked Fangirl a lot, is because there was a good amount of, it felt perfectly balanced between her and Levi, and then, you know, after.
Right.
Yeah, Fangirl was actually the one that I was thinking of when we were talking about this. I was like, oh, Rainbow Rowell's so good at giving me like a good amount of time to get to know their relationship. And
that was perfect too. Carry On was everything.
I haven't finished it yet. I've just started it.
But way, like it's the perfect amount of not together and together, and that's not even contemporary, but it's still the perfect amount. But yeah, Rainbow Rowell is another queen.
Yeah, she does it well in Eleanor and Park too.
I haven't read that one, but yeah, I've heard that.
Oh, I love it so much. I like that book better than Fangirl, actually. I like it better.
I think the only, like, attachments she does, like, she gives you no time with the two characters together.
Oh, really?
It's just like, oh, they meet up, and then the end, and I'm like, no!
Isn't that book more about the friendship between the two girls than about the boy, the love interest?
The emails are definitely about the friendship between the two girls. That part's great, but the main story, the narrative, is more about like the inner growth of the main character.
Interesting. I haven't read that one yet, but my friend Kelsey just read it and she fell in love with it. So
it's my
really
favorite one, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I really want to read it.
Carry on forever.
That's so good.
Carry on, all the feelings. Which is why I did a scene reenactment where I played two men. I'm not waiting for my Academy Award.
I have a question for everyone. Talking about books and stuff, like, are there any particular authors or books that are inspiring you in this particular story that you're writing this time around, as well as just in general when you write?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
That answer correct. No, I do really like Jane Barry, but like authors who are living. I recently, in the past year, got into Neil Gaiman. I read Neverwhere, and I think I like Neil Gaiman so much because his voice sounded really reminiscent of how Jane Barry wrote. But just Neil Gaiman, I've read a few of his books now. I've read like Neverwhere, Stardust, Fortunately the Milk, and The Sleeper and the Spindle, and he has a really good way of, like, it's dark and light at the same time, and it's I don't know, it's really fun to read him because he like kind of shows the nuances in life, and he can write like fairy tales for adults, which is kind of where my story's going. Is it's like a really dark fairy tale for adults, which is like the Neil Gaiman Stardust kind of was and stuff like that. But we have a lot of authors I like, but not many of them are like the genre I would write in. So Alexander Bracken, though, I agree with Sierra with The Darkness and that series. I love it. And that's like The Darkest Mind had that series had no fear with like being completely.
I'm actually not taking inspiration from those books, even though I guess it did sound like it. Most of the inspiration right now is coming from The Fifth Wave, even though I know a lot of people don't like it.
I love it. So.
Yeah, I like this idea. I got a lot of inspiration for this story from Volition by Lily Parody. Obviously, the story isn't really anything like what she wrote in that book, but the timeline of that story, that's my inspiration from the then and now idea. Is I just loved how she did the back and forth between the two timelines, so that's definitely where I get that from. Yeah. And Lily Parody is great, and everyone should read everything that she has written, and she's so underknown.
I definitely agree.
Volition actually about?
Volition is the past tense plot is showing the relationship with the first boy that the main character ever falls in love with, and then the present day plot line is showing the relationship that comes out of her like running away from the past relationship. She like moves town and stuff because of the past relationship, and then it's the unfolding of her new life basically.
You need to read that.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a dark contemporary feel to me.
Definitely.
Well, I get my inspiration from Colleen Hoover, obviously. But mainly, like, for her, she always does the crazy twist or, like, the just upsetting endings. And so a lot of my story is going to be coming from that. But then I'll also kind of lean on Morgan Matson with how light and airy she makes the relationships. So I kind of go between contemporary authors. But my favorites are definitely Colleen Hoover and Morgan Matson.
Have you guys actually read Never Never yet?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I want to.
I loved it. Oh, I have read from Colleen Hoover. I lied.
What about you, Jessica and Alexis and Kaz when she returned?
Well, I think a lot of my inspiration is coming from Rainbow Rowell because she's the most recent contemporary that I've read. But also, I think I have always been inspired by like Melissa Marr, who wrote the Wicked Lovely series. I don't know if anyone's read those. Pretty much nobody reads them anymore, but they were like scary fairy books, and the main characters were like just so interesting and like different, and I still see really like very few protagonists who are like even similar to them. I think Carew from Daughter of Smoke and Bone was like the closest protagonist that I see to Ash and Wicked Lovely, and so like the narrators in that series were just my favorite, and I definitely like they influence everything that I ever write forever.
Say mine is kind of inspired by The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. That's hard to really compare it to, really, because I haven't really read a book yet that's kind of similar, so hopefully that's a good thing.
What about you, Kaz?
I don't really have any inspiration for this book because I don't read a lot of paranormal or anything that's really I don't read a huge amount of adult paranormal either. I don't think I have read any like adult paranormal books. So I'm just going with the flow and seeing how it goes. But I don't know. There's been a couple of books that I've read when I was a lot younger that just inspired me to start writing, and that was probably which books was it? It was this series by Emily Rodder, who I think is an Australian author, called Rowan of Rin, and I recently rebought the books because I want to read them again, but it's just like, they're fantasy books. They're so much fun. And that was the first time I've ever been inspired to read, so... Sorry, write. Oh my gosh. Ugh. But yeah.
Did anybody, like, I know me and Sierra both, like, didn't think about writing until recently because of how much we read and booktube and all that stuff, but is anyone here, like, is writing what inspired you to either do booktube, or, like, is writing what you've always wanted to do, or did reading bring you into writing? Like, which one happened first, kind of, I guess, is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, reading for me, for sure. Because, like, definitely with the books that I read when I was younger. But it kind of tapered off, and I didn't think about writing until I really got back into reading a lot more, and with booktube as well. So.
Yeah, I always, when I was younger, I was homeschooled for a while when I was younger, and so we had a very like kind of make your own curriculum, and I always loved reading, and I also always loved making up my own stories, and so my mom kind of taught me how to like write fiction when I was maybe like 8 or 9, and I always was writing, like always, and I always knew that I wanted to tell a story in some facet for my job in my life, but I wasn't like sure I could ever write a novel because I'd only written short stories and like poems, and then like 3 years ago I wrote a short story on Tumblr, and a lot of people read it and really liked it. That's now the short story that I've like made into a novel that I like continuously edit with my writing professor and stuff. But it wasn't until like, so I've always loved writing, and I always knew I always am writing, and I always want to tell stories, and it was in the last 2 or 3 years that I was like, I'm going to be an author. This is what I'm going to do with my life. But yeah, writing has always been like a huge part of my life, and I always knew I was going to write in some manner, but only in like the last few years that I was like, no, this is 100% going to happen.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty similar. I've known I wanted to be a writer since I was like 9 years old, and I've always wanted to write like novels. So I'm lucky to have really, really supportive parents who are just like, yeah, that's totally doable. You could be like #1 on the New York Times bestseller list like immediately, and I'm like, cool. And buy my books.
Already, Molly. Like.
I go home and everyone's like, oh, so is your book out yet? And I'm like, have I finished it? No. Ask again next year, maybe. Or don't.
Or don't.
Don't talk to me. Like,
Please don't pressure me.
I kind of think I wanted to write first, actually, because when I was in primary school, we had to write a poem. I don't know why, but we had to write a poem, and it was the first time I actually got praise for something that I did, so I wanted to carry on doing it. And then I wanted to, be a writer or write something. But a phase where I just didn't read at all. Like the whole of secondary school, I just didn't read at all. Like social life was my life, so I didn't read. But I think it was the end of college that I actually started to read again, and that's how I got into YA, and absolutely adore it now. And so now I read loads and write loads, and yeah.
Well, mine kind of goes back and forth because when I was younger, I started reading first. But then in high school, I started reading Twilight, and from that, I started writing fan fiction. And when I started writing fan fiction, it made me realize how much I love to write. And so I've always just kind of jumped between the two since then. So it's kind of both of them have always been in my life.
What fan fiction did you write?
Yeah.
Well.
now that you ask,
I would have to find, because, let's see, I know one of them was called Life as We Know It.
I thought you were going to say Life and Death.
It's so long since I've written them.
they had to keep that so secret is because Stephanie Meyer didn't actually write it.
No.
When she was 14, she wrote that.
I was really big on turning all the vampires into humans and writing a contemporary out of them being humans.
Aww.
So that's what I've had probably 3 different fan fictions of doing that, just different plot lines and stuff. So, but I haven't written fan fiction in a long time.
I have a question then for everyone about fan fiction, because she said that, and I know Kat and Catty-tastic just wrote a Carry On fan fiction, which is fan fiction inception, since Carry On is the fan fiction of a fictional character writing fan fiction, and have any of you guys written fan fiction? Because I wrote it one time, and it was the only time I ever felt passionately enough to do this, and I don't know if anyone read this book ever. It's called Stolen by Lucy Christopher.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah, I know you've read it. I think I wrote 4 different sequels to that.
Oh my god.
I wrote so many. I was always writing new short story sequels to that book. I came up with so many ridiculous ways that was going to go on, and it's about this girl who gets kidnapped by this guy and taken to the desert. It's a really weird, it's not necessarily a love story, but it's just so interesting, and that was my favorite book for years. I read it so many times, and there was a point where it's I need a sequel, and Lucy Christopher was there's not going to be a sequel, and I'm no, I'm going to write one, and I wrote so many, and ever since then I always think about wanting to write fan fiction, but I'm I don't strongly have a good enough idea in that world of what would happen next. But with that, I was it wasn't I was writing what I wanted to happen. I was this is hardcore, what would go on next in this world. So Kelly said she wrote Twilight. Did any of you guys ever write fan fiction?
Yeah. I wrote a lot of fan fiction.
I did Twilight as well, but I only wrote a couple of chapters, and then I just didn't continue for some reason.
Yeah, I wrote a lot of Twilight fan fiction.
That was the easiest fan fiction to write, I feel like.
I've always wanted to write dreary fan.
Oh,
I've always wanted to do it. Still, at this point in my life, still don't know how I want to do it. I want to write some goddamn Simon Snow fan fiction now, because I think I used to write they weren't full-on stories. They were little flash fictions. I would write Doctor Who fan fictions.
Oh.
I would write so many. I'd be Rose and the Doctor, let's go fan fiction.
I used to write Chronicles of Narnia fanfiction.
Oh my god!
Can I read it?
I don't think the problem is the fanfiction website that I wrote on when I was younger got shut down because of copyright issues.
Oh, no.
And they let you download this a file, a zip file with all of your fanfiction in it, but mine corrupted. So I had like 16 stories on there that just were gone forever, and I was so sad. But I'm sure like I could probably, because I signed up for like 6 other sites, and I wrote at least one thing on each one. I could probably dig it up if I really tried hard.
Like where you go like hardcore detective, you're like, we're gonna find this. Because like it's interesting what a market there is now for fan fiction because of 50 Shades of Grey. And I always said, you know, like even if you write a retelling, that's still a kind of a fan fiction. Which I mean, I've written many Peter Pan retellings and Peter Pan novels and stories from Captain Hook's point of view. That's probably the number one thing. They're like I never intend to do anything with them because they're ridiculous. Like I recently wrote one where Captain Hook finally leaves Neverland, but like all this time has passed. He gets back to London, to the 1920s, and he bumps into Wendy, but she's like a woman in her 20s, and she's like a flapper, and they end up in like a speakeasy together. Yeah. And that's when he realizes that it's Wendy, and he's like, crap, this is awkward, does she remember?
That story now.
You're like, I'm gonna need you to send them my way.
P.S. Speaking of Rainbow Rowell and NaNoWriMo, Rainbow Rowell just tweeted that Fangirl was a NaNoWriMo book.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a NaNoWriMo. Well, I think in Scott Westerfeld's book Afterworlds, which I wasn't like huge on, I know because I gave Cassie my other Scott Westerfeld book, but in Afterworlds, the girl is writing NaNoWriMo, and they never come out and say that she did it, but it's blatantly obvious she did. She says, I wrote 2,000 for a month, and I'm like, what an interesting amount. Like.
In November too.
In November, how odd.
Oh, weird.
How did everyone find out about NaNoWriMo? Like, how did we each find out?
Booktube.
Was there like a specific bookstore?
Katie Taspic.
Yeah.
I think actually one of the first videos of Kaz's that I watched was your NaNoWriMo video. The how to NaNoWriMo maybe or something like that.
Yeah. I can't remember how okay, did any of you guys ever watch or hear about this channel called the 5 Awesome Girls?
I don't think so.
It was a collab channel. Actually, Christina Horner, if you know her, she was on it.
Oh, okay.
She's doing NaNoWriMo as well this year. But it was a collab channel, and they'd post one video a day during the week kind of thing each. And one of them, it wasn't Christina Horner, but one of the other ones was talking about NaNoWriMo. And I think that's how I first discovered it, like 6 or 7 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Totally off the Nano topic, but Christina Horner, did anyone see her like Halloween video, like the Sacrament or whatever?
I haven't watched it yet. It's sitting waiting for me.
Oh my god, it's so good. I watched it when I was waiting for one of my classes, and I was like, girl.
We have a question on Twitter. Danny De La Cruz asked, what is your novel's distinction in one sentence going in?
What does that mean?
I think he's asking, like, give your novel a description in one sentence. Or we could do in 3 words, if you want.
I can't do 3 words, girl. A female, psychic, Germanic woman trying to take her father's place in a tribe.
I think mine might be, is love as perfect as it seems?
Ooh.
At least for now.
Tagline, yeah.
I think mine would be an introvert at university studying creative writing with mental health.
Ooh.
I know I just wrote a sentence synopsis of my thing on Facebook, and now I can't find it, and I'm so sad. People keep going.
I'm trying to think still.
Fine. I want mine to sound better because Kathy's and everyone sounded so good. Hold on. It's like if we were doing like I guess a tagline because that's kind of what you guys are doing. if mine was the tagline, it's a line from the prologue, would be, it all start, yeah, okay, this is from the prologue, and it would be the tagline. It would be, it all started with magic, and it would all end with it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think every time any of us read anything, we're like, yes, I would like to read that.
You send each other's work or something.
We don't get any writing done because we're just reading like the first chapter. Haven't written anything else. What about Kaz and Kelly
And Sierra.
Well, my synopsis was pretty vague as it is and could be basically one sentence. So I don't.
So difficult.
The struggle is so real.
It is so real. I'm just gonna do 3 words. I'll do. Oh God.
Here, you think and I'll go.
Okay.
I think if I was going as simple as it can get, I would say the government is taking us down.
Ooh, government. Always a fun
I've never
district.
heard of the government taking anyone down before. I've never.
Well,
I like it. I love this
I'm
so
excited.
much.
I love dystopia too.
They're my fave.
just fun.
Sure.
Someone's like, in the future. I'm like, what's going on in the future? Is everything screwed up? Let me read about it.
Well,
Probably
I
why
found
I
mine. So mine is, in the not-so-distant future, a queer college student playtests a dating sim game, only to fall in love with an accidental, recurring character who claims to be real.
What the
Oh.
heck? That sounds so professional and good. Like, yeah.
I had mine pre-written, so I have an excuse.
Well, mine sounds like shit now.
I'm done. I quit. I'm out. I'm sorry.
I'll exit.
Still trying to think of 3 words that make it sound intriguing.
And Kaz is like, I'm still going.
I'm still
I will attempt it.
What did you say early,
think-
succubus? That could be one of your words.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my words.
Your synopsis could be like, what did you say earlier? Like, let's just say there's a succubus. Like, that's the synopsis. That's it. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Kelly, you were going to do yours.
It's really hard for a contemporary because it's literally like girl meets boy. What more can you ask for? But I guess it would be, I guess it would probably be along the lines of like, can starting your life over really change the outcome of your love life or something in that area?
Ooh. I like this one. It makes me curious of what kind of starting over are we talking about? Like, are you going like paranormally, where like she actually gets to start her life over, or is it just like or is she like moving town, that type of starting over, or you know, there's so many things that could be happening in this plot.
So many ways. How long do you guys think we're gonna stay on live?
I was just about to say, are we ready to wrap up in the next 10 minutes or so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Any closing statements? I don't know what that
Wait, I have a question. I'm sorry,
Yes.
this randomly popped in my head.
Yeah.
Does everyone's story have a love interest? Or is anyone writing something that doesn't have one? Because I don't think mine has one.
Well,
I
trying
can't-
to go for the win over here.
I can't decide if, because like obviously the past tense will have a love interest, because that's the whole point of the past tense.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't decided if the present tense is going to have a love interest, or if it's going to continue the same love interest, or if, I don't know. I don't know if a new person will show up, or if it will be more about friends and family, more about personal growth, or what. No idea.
We'll find out on the 30th.
Maybe.
The truth will come out.
Coming soon.
What about
Like, love isn't like the main focus in mine. It's not like the main topic. It's kind of like the background thing because it's already there. So the character that I'm doing, the main protagonist, she doesn't actually, well, she has a boyfriend already, so she's been with him for a long time.
That's something we don't see very often. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, mine's like the love isn't the main thing. The main thing is the political stuff of ancient Germany, but there's definitely like a lot of love, but I love romance, so. Hashtag forever alone struggles. All you guys are like happy relationships. That's the problem. You know, like I don't need to write romance. I'm living it, and I'm just over here like, have you guys met my dog?
Well, I feel you.
Mine, there is a romantic interest because obviously my main character has a husband, but enter the succubus and things go downhill very quickly.
Mine kind of has a love interest. Well, mine definitely has a love interest because I just said it, you know, but it's there's kind of a twist because she's playtesting this game, the person is showing up as a man, and she's like, I'm a lesbian, I'm not interested. And so it's a platonic relationship that they build first, and then she ends up meeting this other girl in real life and like falling in love with her, and it turns out they're the same person.
Alexis, publish this book and sign it and sounds like like what is this?
But now you make me want to play The Sims, which is really bad because it's NaNoWriMo.
Just play The Sims, it's fine.
No one will ever be the wiser.
I will, though. I will start playing.
Well, mine is obviously a love interest.
Like mine has no love interest in it at all.
None whatsoever. Self-discovery story.
It's a threat. Just like that. Do you guys remember when Christine had like her 50 Shades of Grey trailer reaction and she was like, oh, is this a coming of age story? Is that what this is about?
I laughed so hard.
There's some...
Any last questions or
I think I did
want
have
to
one.
say?
I'm not sure if this applies to you guys, but if you've ever done anything like this in the past. So Danny De La Cruz also tweeted, being like, do you wait till you're pissed off to write the murder scenes so that you could project attitude and expression?
No.
I've never written a murder scene before, so this will be the first time. So I'll see. We'll see. Might be smart to get in a really, really bad mood.
I definitely do that. Like, when I'm writing, I like to, well, it usually happens the other way around. Like, I don't have a depressing scene or an angry scene or anything planned necessarily, but then I'll be either, like, watching something, like, there's something that happens in the book, possibly. I am deciding on if this is one of the things, and I was watching Grey's Anatomy sobbing over somebody's death and going, okay, I need to write about it. I need to write this out. Like, my feelings for this fictional character is going to turn into the main character's feelings for a different fictional character. So, like, yeah, for sure a thing that I do, because it makes it so much easier, which is why today I partied last night, happy Halloween, and I was like, if I write right now, all I'm going to write is about how sick I feel. So,
yeah, right.
I don't think that's
Shot.
exactly.
In closing, I need to take my dog for a walk.
Okay.
Wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone else do that? Get angry? And
I do the opposite. I get when I'm really happy is when I write my best murder scenes, and my mom thinks I'm
That's
psychotic.
creepy.
It's okay.
That is, yeah, no.
Nothing makes me happier than killing off characters. Not like Rick Riordan. Like.
I'm just the devil. It's fine.
Like, I might watch like, for instance, today all day I've been watching like lovey Hallmark Christmas movies, and so it gets me in the mood to write these like great love scenes. So it's usually the opposite for me because I've never wrote a murder scene, but I do write very good love scenes.
I have no idea if I do, because I'm not a writer. The only reason I'm doing this is like for the experience. Like, so the only things I've really written are like a couple short stories and then like school papers. So I'm kind of just going in this to learn about myself.
We'll know in 30 days how you do.
We will know in 30 days.
November 30th.
Well, I think that we have come to an end. We are planning on doing possibly a mid of the month live show again and a possible end of the month live show again. With the same people, with more people. We don't know who's gonna come, who knows. So make sure to check out all of these lovely humans' channels and blogs and all of that stuff. I will link most everything down in the description box once we're all done here. So if you want to check them out. And they are also all on Twitter and stuff too. Yeah. So yeah, that's I think everything. Everyone want to say bye? Are we ready?
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.